deuce, my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up in accent sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking sidekicks. Honeys wanna chat, but all we wanna know is where the party at. And can I bring my cat? If not, I hope I don't get shot. Better throw my vest on my chest, cause niggas is a mess. It don't
9 Pedro, Santa Cruz, coming to you live from our studio in downtown Tucson. It is January 16th, first in local headlines. Arizonans can once again apply for DACA status after a federal judge's ruling last week. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is accepting applications to grant temporary work permits for undocumented immigrants who arrived in the U.S. as children. It applies only for those who lose their DACA status or could not renew before last fall's deadline. The group Promise Arizona is helping immigrants renew their DACA status. They say that the cost to renew is $495, but there are some funds to pay the fees. There are about 28,000 DACA recipients in Arizona. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced an end to DACA in September and left a 6-month delay to allow Congress to deal with the issue. However, last week, a federal judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration's decision and ordered DACA kept intact until litigation over the law is finished. Today, the Justice Department announced that they will appeal the ruling. At the same time, Congress is trying to work out a solution to the DACA situation, but keeps facing obstacles. The biggest of these obstacles is our president calling other countries shitholes. On Saturday, USCIS posted on its website that its policy will be operated under the terms in place before DACA was rescinded in September. This means that we can act like the ending of DACA never happened and that it's August of 2017. The same federal judge also said that Americans must listen to nothing but Despacio and prepare for Hurricane Irma. Either way, if you need your DACA renewed, call 602-288-3663 or email info@promiseaz.org. To my co-host, would you like to give your phone number out on television? I know you've been looking for a date recently.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Arizona is among the worst states in the country to raise a family, according to a study by the website WallThub. The state ranked 40th in the nation for best states to raise a family, while ranking 47th for childcare and 49th in affordability. A representative from the Children's Action Alliance said that most families in the state are not receiving high-quality, affordable childcare, which is one of the largest monthly expenses for families. The best states to raise a family included Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Vermont, New York, and California. 10 states rank below Arizona. Let's see if you can guess them all. I bet you can. The states were Nevada, Georgia, Arkansas, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Louisiana, West Virginia, Alabama, Mississippi, New Mexico, and of course, New Crib Death.
Arizona Representative Raul Grijalva sent a letter to the Interior Department asking them to investigate why 2 studies were stopped by the Trump administration. The studies looked into health effects of surface coal mining operations and inspections of offshore oil operations. Grijalva said that the 2 studies may have been stopped for political reasons and said that not completing the studies would be a waste of taxpayer dollars. The $1 million study on the effects of coal mining in the Appalachian region was stopped with $400,000 left for usable research. The Trump administration originally claimed that it stopped the oil inspection study due to budgetary concerns. But Grijalva reached out to the Interior Department, seeking out the real reasons why the studies didn't continue. Grijalva says that he sent the letters to the Interior Secretary Ryan Zink in October, but the letters still have not been answered. Zink says that he is still looking for a pen.
I hate that. Can never seem to find a pen when you
Not
need
one
it.
that works.
Ridiculous. All right. The University of Arizona today signed former Texas A&M coach Kevin Sumlin to replace the recently fired head coach Rich Rodriguez. The U of A signed Sumlin to a 5-year contract worth $14.5 million. Kevin Sumlin is famous, of course, for being a great defensive-minded head coach and for being the coach responsible for Johnny Manziel's incredible college success. Rodriguez, the former coach, was relieved of his head coaching duties for sexual harassment and hostile work environment claims brought against him. The Arizona Athletic Department expects Sumlin to be a coaching upgrade from Rodriguez because they think that if and when Sumlin sexually harasses anyone, he will be much more organized than his predecessor and much more capable of covering up and hiding his scandals and his transgressions.
A newborn baby was found abandoned in the women's bathroom at Tucson International Airport Sunday night. Firefighters checked the baby out and determined that the baby was healthy. Tucson does have a safe haven baby laws which protects mothers who abandon their babies in safe places such as hospitals and fire stations. But in this case, police will be looking for the mother mainly to determine that she is safe. Authorities say that giving birth in an airport bathroom and leaving your baby behind is not a good idea, unless you've just given birth to a spineless brown fish or a stinky brown mamba, in which that case they say wipe, flush, and for God's sakes, please wash your hands.
And apparently with soap too. I've been told that soap helps.
Wash with soap and water.
Important details, people. This is what you get here on 5 on 20 News. And now to national and international news. Since the inauguration of Donald Trump, the number of Americans without health insurance rose by 3.2 million people, the biggest increase in a decade, according to a Gallup poll. Gallup said that several factors contributed to the decline. They pointed to several Republican attempts to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare. The 2010 law extended health insurance to 20 million people and led to a decline for uninsured Americans, with the number peaking at 18% in 2013. According to Gallup, the number of uninsured will likely increase. This is because the recent Republican tax reform bill repealed the individual mandate, which required that Americans carry insurance or pay a penalty. The uninsured rate rose across all demographic groups in 2017, with Hispanics, young adults, blacks, and low-income Americans seeing the largest decreases. The only exception to the decrease were those 65 and older who qualify for Medicare. The rise in uninsured Americans was the largest since Gallup began the poll in 2008. President Trump said that the poll shows that there should be some sort of fine, a mandate, if you will, so that Americans get insured. If only.
Get insured. U.S. gold medal winning gymnast Simone Biles said that she was also sexually abused by Dr. Larry Nassar, who is expected to be sentenced this week. On Tuesday, several of Nassar's accusers took the stand and recounted their experiences. This included Ali Reisman, Gabby Douglas, and Michaela Maroney, all members of the Fierce Five of the U.S. Olympics gymnastics team that won the gold in 2012. Yesterday, Biles added her name to over 140 female athletes who accused Nassar of sexual abuse. Biles made her announcement on Twitter, writing, "I, too, am one of the many survivors that was sexually abused by Larry Nassar," along with adding the hashtag #MeToo. USA Gymnastics, the sports governing body in the U.S., released a statement saying that they were absolutely heartbroken, sorry, and angry for Simone Biles or any of our athletes that have been harmed by the horrific acts of Larry Nassar. But Biles called out the USA Gymnastics for their role in allowing Nassar to abuse girls for decades. Biles' teammates accused the group of complicity over Nassar's abuses, including offering hush money to Maroney when she was 13. In response, the U.S. Gymnastics said it would implement 70 policy change recommendations by the independent investigator. They so far instituted one change, which is to keep tighter wraps on the use of hush money.
Did you ever do gymnastics?
Only on my dates.
Oh, interesting. All right. Philippine government shut down Rappler, an independent news site that has been critical of Rodrigo Duterte, the country's president. The Philippine Securities and Exchange Commission said that it was revoking the registration of Rappler, citing violations of foreign ownership and control. This is the first time the SEC has closed a Philippine media company. Rappler was set up by eBay co-founder and billionaire Pierre Omidyar, who also co-founded the website, The Intercept. Journalists claim that the shutdown is an attack on press freedom and democracy. Duterte has been an increasingly autocratic leader since elected in 2016. He began a much criticized crackdown on drugs in his country, which has resulted in police killing thousands of civilians. He's also cracked down on journalists, such as calling Rappler fake news and threatening violence against some journalists in the country. It's nice to live in a free country like America where we don't have to worry about insane leaders attacking the media. Am I right?
You are so right. Saudi Arabia began screening feature-length animated children's films at the makeshift theater this past weekend after a 35-year-old ban on cinemas was lifted. The first permanent theaters could open as soon as March. Authorities expect to open 300 cinemas and 2,000 screens by 2030 and hope that the industry will bring in about $24 billion and 30,000 permanent jobs. The decision comes as part of an effort by a 32-year-old Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS as he's known. In addition to allowing films, Saudi Arabia is now allowing comedy shows, concert, and women drivers. Cinemas were banned in the 1980s after conservative religious leaders turned against Western media, for which they said encouraged the public mixing of men and women. To satisfy conservatives, films will be censored to align with the kingdom's moral values. Their first movie to be screened in the kingdom was last year's Emoji Movie. After watching the Emoji Movie, Saudi requested that the government agree to ban films again because they say that the movie was, quote, the real great Satan. Satan?
Emoji Satan, emoji smiley face, emoji flaming poop. And now to health news. During this busy flu season, as lots of people are getting sick, doctors advise that you should never hold a sneeze. Sneezes can release pressurized air at speeds up to 150 miles per hour and can be dangerous to hold in. Case in point, a 34-year-old man suffered a neck injury recently from holding in a sneeze. The injury did not require surgery, but the man was hospitalized for 2 weeks. Some other things that are apparently dangerous to your health: carbon monoxide, autoerotic asphyxiation, and crystal methamphetamine, or, as the combo is known in Yuma, Thursday night.
Oh, excuse me. I want to take a moment to talk to you about this program that you're watching right now. Here on 5 on 20, we are undertaking a new kind of citizen journalism. We're going to give you the news as we see it. And we want more people to speak up with us. We need writers and hosts and anchors and camera people, sound people, the whole gamut. The times require a new way of informing ourselves. So join us. Do it now. Do it. Email us your information at creativetucson.org to get involved. And if you think that there's a story that we're missing, a person we should interview, an upcoming event we should cover, or have any news tips for us, shoot us an email at creativetucson.org. We are here for you, and we want to cover all the stories from all points of views. So don't be strangers.
Yeah, weren't you saying there was a story about Hawaii? Something happened in Hawaii?
Yeah, a missile was coming in, and they needed to seek shelter. But no, never mind. It was not for real.
Those wayward missiles.
Yeah.
This was 5 on 20 News with Pedro Santa Cruz. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube account, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest Creative Tucson news and content. You can also feel free to get in touch with us at info@creativetucson.org. Enjoy your Tuesday. Tuesday? Is it Tuesday today?
It is Tuesday today.
All right.
Stay creative, Tucson.